I highly recommend things such as like MP-Thyroid or Nature Thyroid. Thyroid is a little better, but I still think Nature Thyroid and MP-Thyroid are better options. They're more of the natural form of the actual desiccation of the thyroid itself. That's why they work so great with my patients. They feel more energy. Plus, what they have is different promorphogens, different natural things that actually can use as a decoy from the antibodies. Hey everybody, Dr. LeGrand here at Nature's Health Clinic, and today in this live stream, if you are in here, go ahead and leave in the comment section below if you have any questions during this live stream, but we're going to jump in and dive into what your doctor might be not telling you about your thyroid problem. We're going to go over different tests that they might not be running or different treatment options, different availability if you're dealing with some kind of thyroid problem, specifically more about hypothyroidism. A lot of people, I deal with a lot of patients here in the Covington area. So I'm an naturopathic doctor here in the Covington area, where our Nature's Health Clinic is located just down Kingley Road. So we address this problem a lot. I see a lot of patients with hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism issues. And things that I find a lot of times when patients are coming in, specifically when they have dealing with hypothyroidism, is when I see their blood work, the typical blood work that they will only run is TSH. Now, this is a very viable type of information to get, but you got to understand TSH is the thyroid stimulating hormone from our brain. So our brain releases it, stimulates the thyroid. It isn't the actual thyroid hormones. And sometimes these can be just fine. Okay, especially if you're suspecting if you do have a thyroid issue and doctors have run this test before and they're like, oh, you're fine. Well, really, it could be a possibility that the free T4 and free T3, which our thyroid does produce, those are the actual thyroid hormones that could be out of balance and where TSH could be fine. We call this subclinical thyroid issues that can possibly, especially if you're running more the tail end of a higher TSH or a low end of TSH, but still in that reference range, and so the doctors won't do anything about it. But if you are running in that kind of category, there is a possibility that you are still dealing with a hypo or hyper type of thyroid. And the other types of tests that are really important to actually run that a lot of doctors will not run these tests is running your anti-TPO levels. So what is anti-TPO? So anti-TPO levels is basically antibodies that are attacking the thyroid. This happens initially when you are going in before your thyroid goes in a hypothyroid state. It's what we call Hashimoto's, an autoimmune condition that happens for most hypothyroid patients, is where the antibodies are attacking the thyroid and they're elevated. But what's interesting, during this initial state, your TSH, your free T4 and free T3 levels will be normal. And that's normal because it hasn't quite destroyed the thyroid yet. Once it's destroyed it, then you'll have a very unactive, underperforming thyroid known as the hypothyroidism issue. So when doctors, why they won't run this test, because they are waiting for basically your body to destroy their thyroid. In fact, I've heard patients say to me that this is what doctors will tell them is that, oh, it's elevated. We're just going to wait till your thyroid is, underperforming, till the body destroys it, and then we'll think about putting you on different medications. There's so many other things that you can actually do to help kind of prevent this, or at least ease the blow as you're going through this. Now, when you're going through this state, there's a lot of different nutritional things that you start implementing, as well as detoxification, fasting, that can help really start easing the blow of going through this process. But then jumping into medications. So your typical hypothyroid types of medications is Synthroid, something that's typically prescribed for people who are dealing with hypothyroidism. Now, as far as other options, those are, in my experience, patients don't do that great with those. They might get just their levels right where their TSH levels should be at, but again, that's not going to be the best option for them because they're not feeling like how they should be. I highly recommend things such as like MP-Thyroid or Nature Thyroid. Thyroid is a little better, but I still think Nature Thyroid and Thyroid are better options. They're more of the natural form of the actual desiccation of the thyroid itself. That's why they work so great with my patients. They feel more energy. Plus, what they have is different promorphogens, different natural things that actually can use as a decoy from the antibodies. So usually your anti-TPO levels will still be elevated when you are in a hypothyroid state. And this is what I do like to check, is to see, okay, are you still have elevated anti-TPO levels? Is that still an issue for you? Now, what we can start implementing is switching the medications such as Thyroid or Nature Thyroid that can actually use as a decoy to evade it, the antibodies, so the body has a chance to start healing the thyroid and get to a point that you could get off the medications. Now, everybody's different. Not everybody can get off medications. I know doctors have told you that you will always be on this medication, but I can here tell you I've successfully been able to get patients off of their thyroid medications by doing different methods, nutrition, looking at more what else is in balance. Now, the other thing that's also important to look at is our thyroid is converted in lots of different areas than just the thyroid or the brain stimulating using the TSH to stimulate the thyroid. So what I call is peripheral thyroid issues. So what I mean by that is the actual T4 to T3 conversion, what's happening, that's your thyroid hormone. It also happens in the liver. It also happens in other peripheral tissues, intestines, the heart, our adrenals, a lot of different our endocrine systems such as adrenals, the pancreas, that deal with lots of other hormones that can also play a role with our thyroid hormones. So if any of those are out of balance, again, those should be addressed. You might be dealing with a lot of those symptoms, and that's why you're probably not feeling like how you used to be when you were first diagnosed with hypothyroidism. Okay, so what we have to do is address all those different organs, and that's what I do here at Nature's Health Clinic, is to be able to see, okay, what's out of balance? What do we need to start addressing to bring things back into balance so you can get the energy that you need and not feeling so crappy? So these are just a few things that, I want to just address with people, because this is a common concern that I see tons of patients coming in and they're not getting the right kind of type of blood work and the right types of treatment. So if you're somebody that is local and concerned, we're here at Nature's Health Clinic here in Covington area, or if you're somewhere else, definitely try to seek out a more holistic doctor, or at least a doctor that's willing to run these tests and start changing your medication. Okay, so this is Dr. LeGrand signing out. If you guys have any further questions, go ahead and leave that in the comment section below. And this is Dr. LeGrand signing out. Thanks. Bye.